What's up guys? Welcome back to the workshop. In yesterday's video, we tried making homemade black powder and it worked. So for this video, I thought it might be fun to see if we could use that black powder to make a set of homemade firecrackers. So you probably remember from the last video, we mixed up black powder to create our own homemade black powder. We got a really nice composition with a very consistent burn rate, but it seems to burn a little bit slow. So the purpose of today's experiment is to create a small container for it to see how it reacts under pressure. Now the materials we need to make a homemade firecracker are going to be some black powder. And aside from those, we're just going to need a black powder. So let's get started. So here's the basic idea. We're going to take our black powder and we're going to cut it lengthwise into thirds. We're going to use our black powder to lay a strip of glue around 3 of the edges of the paper. Three, 2, 1, ignition. That wasn't cool. Was that the fuse? The fuse just popped out and went burning? What was interesting about that is the fuse lit off and it was kind of burning, and then it went out for a second and then relit, and then it went out for a second and then relit, and then it went out for a second and then relit, and then it went out for a second and then relit, and then it went out for a second and then relit. And that's why when you light your fireworks, if you think it's a dud, you always want to go off in your face. The other thing that was kind of funny about this is when that exploded, the fuse exploded. So maybe we used more fuse than we needed, but I did want to make sure they went off. Test number 2 has the same amount of black powder, just a couple layers of duct tape. Let's see if that makes a difference. Here we go. That was all right. Could have been bigger. All right, guys, this version here is new and improved. I made 3 modifications. First of all, I put a little hot glue in the bottom to hold the fuse in place so it doesn't spit out randomly when everything ejects. Second of all, I put a little hot glue in the bottom to hold the fuse in place so it doesn't spit out randomly when everything ejects. And third, I put a little hot glue in the bottom to hold the fuse in place so it doesn't spit out randomly when everything ejects. Let's see if that makes any kind of a difference. That was a little more powerful. Looks like most of the energy is just shooting out of the butthole. So for the next one, let's reinforce that butthole even more. So here's the next variation. It's got a lot more electrical tape at the top to protect the fuse, and I left the sides open, hoping that we could get that to burst sideways instead of out one end. Oh, that was the best one yet. That sounded a lot more like an explosion, didn't it? So this one, we actually forced the explosion to come out the side, and that made a lot louder bang bang. If there was some way to use a quicker fuse, we might have a little better success. Bad though. I'm gonna go make another one and reinforce it even more. Oh yeah!